always healthy. You're always in a toxic relationship. You're always with a guy who's not like, there's a reason for that. And I think it correlates directly with the things that you say out of your mouth.
Sneaky
little snake.
Very little
sneaky little snake.
Sneaky little thing.
Sneaky little thing.
Because you won't even know why you side-eyeing him like that. And yeah, like...
Why he irritate me?
Like, just the sight of him makes you want to bark.
We see, again, what people show us. Literally, what people show us. They take their camera,
they kiss right there.
Kiss, move the camera, put it at a different angle,
go there and
do a little butt rub right here. Take the camera, put it over here.
Go ahead and be cooking, and they can come behind you.
Come behind you, rubbing. Do it again. You have to squeeze it harder.
All of that's happening. Literally what we see.
All of that is happening.
Welcome to
Marriage Pinnacles, Chats from the Peak, where God's favorites link up. My name is Dr. Lara.
And I'm Memi.
And here's another episode of Chats from the Peak.
We back. We back.
We back. We back. We back. We back. We back. All right. Hey, y'all. Hey. How y'all doing? This is another episode of Chats from the Peak. All things marriage, relationships, and everything in between. And here on Chats from the Peak, we do it from a cultural lens, a clinical lens, and a little bit of life experience. So if you are new here, we invite you to join our Peak Seeker community, where we just want to pour into this idea that marriage is not dead. It's a climb. Relationships can thrive and grow and be healthy. They can go through valleys, but then be at the peak as well. And so we just,
come out on top.
And come out on top. That's it.
You ate that.
Thanks, girl. But yeah, so here we are. We're on another episode. And we are excited about this one because I think that sometimes these conversations, we talk about clinical lens, cultural lens, and life experience. I think that we have absolutely seen a mirroring of all of them. And, this episode especially, I think, really plays into like the cultural lens for us.
Yeah.
For those of you who are new here, myself and Memi are firstborn Nigerian Americans. So first generation. Our parents were Nigerian immigrants who came here to have a better life, who worked hard, had us here, and really instilled a lot of different values and principles in us. And also now we are starting our own generation, our families, and like leaving our legacy. And, this episode, I think, really plays into this idea of like what your dreams are for certain things. But then, when you get faced with whatever that is,
how you deal?
Does it match up? Because sometimes it don't.
I think majority of times it don't.
A lot of times it don't.
Because a dream is a dream.
A dream is a dream. And a lot of times the dream is void of like the challenges.
It is.
The difficulties.
I love that.
The blind spots, the things that you don't see, the realities.
Of life.
And the dreams is just the la-la land a lot of times.
The dream is all the good parts.
Yeah. Like, I know people who say, I dreamt of being a wife since the day I was born. I dreamt of being a mother since the day I was born. And I'm like, okay.
That is very interesting.
That is super interesting.
But I do know people like that too.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I think that you have an idea of what your marriage is going to look like. You have an idea of what this child or these kids will look like. Yeah. But then you are smacked in the face.
And that is the perfect segue into our internet chokehold today. So if y'all have been on the internet lately, I don't know when this episode is coming out, but there was a video that was going viral on TikTok. It had over 10 million views, and it was by this creator. Her name is Sabrina Marie. So it's this girl. She's talking to the camera, like they do on TikTok, and she has her baby like crying right next to her the whole time throughout the video, and she's just talking about how she had this dream, and she used the word dream, and she's always dreamt of being a mother. Like she dreamt of having her husband, her cute little daughter. She just wanted one daughter. She was going to name her baby Harley, and she had all these plans of how she was going to dress her up real cute.
Yeah.
And at the end, at the end of that introduction to the video, she was like, ladies, do not dream about being a mother.
Don't do it. I was just like,
don't do it.
It was like literally like this, and it was like just a drastic decline.
It was crazy. Like, and she was like, she regrets dreaming or letting her dream be about motherhood.
Yes.
And her reasoning for that was that motherhood is hard.
Yeah.
And she talks about how she was struggling. She was like, she looks in the mirror, she doesn't recognize herself. She feels like she gained so much weight. She actually called herself fat, which I hate when people do that, but I understand it. But she was like, I'm fat. I don't look like myself. I don't recognize myself. I don't have time for myself. My daughter needs so much. She needs me all the time. She was like, me and my husband, I don't even know him anymore. Like, we don't talk, we don't hang out. So she was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, you could tell she was going through it.
And it's a long video, like 10 minutes.
That video was long.
Yeah, it's a long video. Yeah. And she's just going on. And it gets darker and darker and darker as she goes on.
Just like,
and it's clear she's struggling.
Yeah, you can tell she's struggling.
You know, with like maybe some postpartum stuff
absolutely.
Or like depression. Not trying to diagnose her or anything, but it's just obvious that what she's dealing with is a little bit more than just like mommy stress. But I thought it was very interesting and fitting for a topic that we wanted to talk about unmet expectations and what to do with those expectations. Because that she's talking about it from motherhood perspective, but it is the exact same thing happens in marriage, and we see it every single day. You get married with these ideas of like
fairy tales,
right?
Butterflies,
and just like everything is always going to be great all the time.
Fairy dust.
Ice cream and cupcakes. All of the good things that you enjoy. You just think marriage is just going to be all of
sex
that.
all the time.
Sex all the time, round the clock.
That's amazing.
Every day,
all the time.
For
hours.
Multiple rounds.
Go again.
But a comment on the video that I liked, it said that no dream will truly fulfill you. And I like that because the commentary was like, because she used to dream about her career. And she was like, once she got to that place in her career.
If there was something I could ever relate to, it was that right there. It is that right there. The definition.
What?
Because Lara was going to be a doctor.
And she was.
And she was going to be a director.
And she was.
And then what is next? And I was like, this is not it. I've met it.
And
okay, thank you.
And that was your dream.
It was my dream.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, best thing since sliced. I remember my post when I became a director. I'm a director. You were looking at director. God has answered my prayers. Not to say he did, because he definitely answered my prayer.
Sure.
But the ghetto. Like, I'm
wow.
And the thing is, I'm just saying it's so relatable because it's like literally what I asked for versus what I got. Like,
and the thing is that you got what you asked for.
I did.
But it's just, you didn't get what you asked for.
That I thought in my mind did not match up to what I had.
To reality.
Yeah. And I say all that to say, I had an amazing time being a director. Like, it was a great time. Great learning experience. I met amazing people. Learned so much, gained so much knowledge. Coworkers who just made the day brighter. Because I worked in a prison. So it just made the day brighter. And like the experiences, all of that was fulfilling. But like it still did not match up to this idea, which again left me unfulfilled. Do you know what I mean? So, and I feel like that is the point I'm trying to make. Not to say that the job or the experience was bad, but it's like when you have an idea of what you think something is going to match, like what you think is going to fulfill you, and then when you do not get that, you feel unfulfilled. That's how people feel in their marriages. That's how people feel with kids. That's how people feel with certain jobs. Like that.
It is constant.
It is constant.
It's so common.
And it's common.
Yeah. And so like I feel like when people talk about expectations or having unmet or unrealistic expectations, it's normally from a negative lens, right?
For sure.
It's normally like a bad thing. But I'm like, it's not all bad, right?
No.
Because it is okay to have some expectations. So what are some pros about having expectations? What are some good things about having expectations?
Correct.
Number one, it gives you something to plan for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with you having that dream of being a doctor and a director,
correct,
it pushed you through those things.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't have gotten there if you didn't have that dream, that expectation to look to, right?
Absolutely.
And the same with marriage. If you don't have a vision of what you want your marriage to be, then what do you really have?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have
you know,
anything.
and I think that even goes further. Like if you know if you have a picture of what your marriage is going to look like, that means you have a picture of maybe not the person, but what the person represents, right?
What the person represents.
What values are important to them? What are your non-negotiables?
Exactly.
What are the things that you can do that they have to have or don't have to have? Exactly. All of those things will feed into this dream that you have. Because it's the same thing. You're right. With my career, like I chose certain experiences, got the supervision from certain professors and individuals further along in their careers because I knew the direction I wanted to go. So I knew I needed to like have certain mentors. And I think it's the same thing within your marriage, right? Like there's going to be certain people that you look to, certain relationships that you feel like are healthy that you're like, okay, I love that they communicate in this type of way. So I want somebody who communicates like that, whatever the case may be. But absolutely having a plan or something to look forward to. I think
and I think what you're saying goes directly perfect into the next pro, which is setting standards for yourself.
Yes.
It's a way to kind of embody and display your self-worth, right? Because how much I care about myself so much that I need someone
who's going to
that
also
can communicate. I need someone that values my feelings and emotions. So you have these expectations and you're setting standards for yourself to show like I love myself.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I need someone that's going to treat me a certain way. So I'm setting these expectations and standards.
Correct.
Because that is what I require.
Yes, that's what I need.
Right?
Absolutely.
To maintain my self-worth, to maintain my peace of mind and whatever that may be. The next one is we believe in the power of the tongue, right?
Absolutely.
So the things that you say are the things that come forth.
Absolutely.
So when you're saying positive things, when you're saying I dream about that, I want that. That's what I want for my life. You're planting those seeds in your life,
absolutely.
Right?
And I think it goes on the flip side as well. Like when you say negative things about you, because think about it, like when you think about the girl or the guy who just always have a certain type of relationship that's like not always healthy. You're always in a toxic relationship. You're always with a guy who's not like, there's a reason for that. And I think it correlates directly with the things that you say out of your mouth. Yep. I always get the guy who does this. I always get the girl or there's always
I love a bad boy.
I love a bad boy. Yeah. And then when you get a bad boy,
that come with a lot, don't it?
When you got the one that's rough around the edges.
Yeah, that come with a lot.
They come with a lot. Instead of you to face your front and get the one that's clean cut.
Get that nice church boy.
Church boy. You know, get the little church boy that's going to love you and love God.
And it's like I'm talking about a lot of times when people say that they want a bad boy, it's like you just want a man that is able to lead.
You want a leader. You want an alpha male.
You want an alpha male.
So say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't say you want a bad boy.
Say what you want.
Because when you say you want a bad boy,
you will get a bad boy.
You get a bad boy.
The bad boy will give you a run for your bad money. Like, he will give you a run for it. So tell guys exactly what you want. Profess what you really want.
Profess what you really
want. You want an alpha male. You want a man that can take control. You want a man that can lead. A man that can make you relax and you
talk about I want a bad boy. Yeah, you get a bad boy. And then he your boy and everybody else's boy. Exactly. You talk about girl.
A bad boy be for the streets.
For the streets. So I want a guy who goes out and when he doesn't come home. And then he don't come home. And then you complaining.
The one that I love the most is like, I want a man that can put me in my place.
Yeah.
Be asking for put you in the place. When you're not pushing you in a place, you be crying.
When your head is in the wall.
Laugh, please.
That's not funny. We do not condone domestic violence, but I'm just trying to make light of when you say certain things. And we don't condone.
We don't condone it at all.
But what I'm saying is it was like I went left. I did go left. But what I'm saying is that you want somebody that's a little rough, and then you get that, and you realizing it's because I said it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's all in all to say that. Like I said, we do not condone domestic violence. We don't condone
at
all. So please
keep your hands to yourself.
Please keep your hands to yourself.
But yeah, so all that to say, expectations are beneficial for saying what you want.
Yes, absolutely.
And working hard towards what you want.
Absolutely.
And also, it's a self-respect thing.
Yeah.
It's a way to show I have respect for myself. So there are certain things that I require and need.
Absolutely.
Where expectations go left is when you now are putting unnecessary and unfair pressure
on yourself
and people around you.
Absolutely.
Because I had these expectations and now I'm expecting you to meet my expectations.
Absolutely.
So now there's pressure, right?
Pressure.
There's drama here.
And so I think that leads perfectly into like that now puts your happiness and your joy in someone else's hands.
Correct.
And I think that's it happens in marriage so much.
All the time.
Like, oh my gosh, he's like my other half. Like, no. You are whole.
And he's whole.
And he is whole. And we are coming together to make whole.
To make a whole.
Yeah. But the minute I say my husband is my end all be all, or my wife is my end all be all, is the minute you have now relinquished your power.
Correct.
And said my happiness or my joy or my sadness and pain are going to be directly tied to someone else.
Something that you have no control over. And that is where it's problematic. That's a scary
place to be.
And we talked about this on the joy and happiness episode, right?
Absolutely.
Like when you put your expectations, you put your someone able to produce joy, right? Like you can produce joy for yourself, but you're now looking to someone else. Like, hey, if he doesn't make me happy, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to
be happy.
Guess what's going to happen,
baby?
You're going to spend more days unhappy than happy.
You are, because I'm trying to make myself happy, and then now how to take care, try to figure out what's the formula for today's day that's going to make you happy.
Like, come on, it's unfair and it's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
If you want to get technical.
Exactly.
And another con I see is that most people, when you go into a marriage or a relationship or motherhood with these expectations and dreams, you typically don't have a plan B.
There ain't no plan B.
There's no
like plan A and plan
there's
A.
No exit strategy.
1. Yeah, there's none.
It's like, if this doesn't work, we're cooked.
We're cooked.
Everybody is cooked.
No, we're cooked. And she even, I think the lady Sabrina, she said, I wanted to have a daughter, so it had to be a daughter.
What if it wasn't a daughter?
Jesus.
There's a 50% chance that it could have been a boy. What would you have done? There's nothing else to do. You're going to have the child. And there's nothing for you else. You're just going to crash out.
But the thing is, I think that's actually the definition of like what we saw there, because she had a plan A. I'm going to have a cute girl. I'm going to have a baby girl. I'm going to dress up and I'm going to do all these things. And it's going to look like this.
Yep.
And now that it is not.
You don't have there's no out.
There's no out. And there's no, like, she literally went from, I want this, to don't, ladies, run for the hills, don't do it.
Do not do it.
Which I thought was, that is the part I thought was outrageous. Like
10 million people
tuned into this.
And you telling them not to have no kids.
She's like, run for the hills.
No, it's crazy.
And my thing is like, is that your lived experience? And so maybe it might not be best for you to have any more kids. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. But to go from, and obviously she said don't drink. I think that was like
her main point was don't make motherhood a dream.
Because you're going to be disappointed every time.
You're going to be disappointed.
And I think that, I'm not going to say that's wrong, because I do feel like, but the thing is, you have to go in with expectations that it can change. Because I feel like even with us, right, we have a boy and a girl each, and our kids are completely different. Our kids are different from one another. I'm talking about like our boys
are totally different than our girls.
Totally different from our girls. Yeah. Our boys are more emotional, more sensitive. Our girls are feisty firecrackers, going on their brothers all the time. And like
and going on us.
You already know Zion be
going on us.
Tap dancing.
Oh my
Tap dancing on the nerves every day.
T, we was coming to the podcast today and Tia was up. She was like, Mommy, when you go in there, can you make sure you don't say yeah a lot, please? Can you stop saying yeah? Because you say yeah a lot on the chat from the peak.
I'm about to say yeah. Sorry, Tiwa.
So every time I say yeah, I be thinking about her.
Be like, pressure.
Put on my neck.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So like our kids are totally different. So if I had the expectation that Zion was going to be like Levi, baby, I'd have been like her too. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because that little girl different. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the dream, yes, I can say don't have that dream, but I also don't think, I think that because of what she's going through, maybe in the moment, in this season,
it's a lot for her.
It might be a little bit more difficult. And a year from now, she might be singing a totally different tune.
Yeah, because when they get older, it does get easier.
It does get a little easier. It's
different type of hard, but it's not that. It's not that kind of hard. It's not baby crying all night hard.
Yeah, yeah.
But I agree with you, and I think you're correct. I think if she would. It's nothing wrong with her saying, don't make motherhood a dream. And for some people, it still is a dream. Yeah. And it's nothing wrong with, we're not saying don't dream in this episode. Correct. We're not saying don't have expectations. We're saying make them realistic. And so if you are dreaming of being a mother, get around some other mothers. Get around some kids, honey.
We're going to say community all the time.
Yeah. Get around your community and see what they actually experience so that your dream can be tailored to reality.
To reality.
And even what they're going through may not be what you're going through.
Exactly.
Because there's some babies that sleep. There's some babies that don't sleep.
There's
some babies that cry for no reason. There's some babies that don't cry for no reason.
Exactly.
You just never know what you're going to get.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I think that really is like, and that's why we are always talking about, and like, that's one of the, the pillars of our platform platform is that community building, and providing atmospheres and events that allow other couples to get together, because every relationship is different. It doesn't matter whether you've been married 1 month or 20 years. You will learn something new from every single couple that you can glean from and take from. Like, oh my gosh, that was such a good nugget that we can implement in our own marriage. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I also go ahead.
No, I was gonna go on to sort of like, what are some in the term of marriage, what are some common unmet or unrealistic expectations? What are some expectations that we see a lot or we hear about a lot that people are getting married and getting disappointed, right? So I think the first one
is the romance.
That daily and constant romance. Thinking that every day is Valentine's Day.
Prince Charming walking through the door every day, baby girl.
Ain't it, girl?
You think baby girl is Tiana, the princess, every day.
Every day.
Wake up, breath smelling fresh when she wake up. You know what I mean? And you
thinking you're going to get some every night or even every other night. Thinking your girl going to magically turn into this bedroom freak. Because she your wife now and is sanctified now and we going to go crazy now.
Yeah. When your baby girl hadn't even
take it easy
on her. You know what I mean? Like,
be patient.
Let's stay there for 2 seconds.
Be realistic.
Let's stay there for 2 seconds, right? So there are people who go into marriage who have been sexually active. There are people who haven't, right?
Right.
But I think that like there is a difference between like the sex you're going to have with your husband and your wife every single day. And I think that women, generalizing this, it is not all women. There are outliers. I have to say it because I just feel like
say it.
People be like, well, that's not the case for me. Because that's not, baby girl. I'm not talking about you. Generally. Most women are very okay with the standard vanilla. Whatever vanilla is for you. Because vanilla still is like, there's variations. There's French vanilla, vanilla bean, white vanilla. It's different types of vanilla, right?
A little bit chocolate.
A little bit of chocolate sprinkled in it. Right. So there's vanilla. But guys be wanting the works. But they don't say that.
Yeah.
Until they get frustrated.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this goes back to like the romance, right? Like what a woman wants to be wined and dined. The guy just want the woman to
take over, Yeah. And get the rocks off.
Right. And I feel like that is an expectation that needs to be discussed on both sides. Our conversation cards. What is your expectation for sex?
Let's talk about it. Let's have these conversations.
That's not even in our date. That's not our date. It is in our dating and engaged deck, but it's in our married deck as well. Like if I want changes in our sexual relationship, how do I best address this to you? How do I best address this with you? Do you know what I mean?
How do we work this topic?
What the wife said, what Sabrina said, she said something along the lines, I don't feel the same. My body, I feel fat. That is a big one for women.
Huge.
When you have kids, you don't be feeling your best.
You don't.
You don't be feeling your best. You be wanting to like
keep the lights off.
Keep the lights off.
Keep the t-shirt on.
Let me keep the t-shirt on. Lift it up when you need to. Put it back down, please. And that's okay. But I feel like what I did when we had no kids, or how I felt when I had no kids, it's a little different now.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, this is not a sex episode.
It's not a sex episode. Trust us, it's like, not.
If you think about it, right? If you think about the expectations that people have, and let's talk about people that were having sex before marriage, right? Before marriage, you're having some people feel guilty, some people don't, right? So you have that. You're dealing with that. You're dealing with that,
exactly.
So if you are on the side of people that felt guilty about having sex before marriage, in your mind, you're thinking like, I can't wait to have this. I can't wait till this is guilt-free, right? And you think that that's immediately going to make it better. But it's like, we're not having a conversation about like, I think it's a little bit more. That's just the mental part. But what about the physical part?
What about the physical part?
Like, what are we actually going to do different? Yeah. I know people that will say like, oh, I didn't do this before marriage. I'm waiting until after.
After, yeah.
Right? And so you get married and you still got to learn how to.
Yeah, you got to learn.
You still gotta learn how to do it.
That's a good point, Memi. That's a good point.
So come back. We gonna have a sex episode. We're gonna go more into all of these kind of things.
But it's a big thing, and because we don't want just romance to come from the women's perspective.
Correct.
But we want the men to also, because romance for them a lot of times is sex, or it has to do with sex. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure include sex. Thank you. Expecting perfection, because you just think, and I think you talked about this in another episode, Memi, that like when you first got married, you thought, I'm gonna be doing this every day. And that is your idea of perfection, or at least that was like a frame of reference for
I definitely had perfection in my head. Like that was definitely an expectation for me. Like I need to be on at all times.
At all times.
Like it was one lady at the church I was going to that time. She would get up in the morning, wear heels around the house. And so in my mind, I'm just like, okay, like
I have to.
The perfect wife exists.
I have to be on.
In my mind, I'm like, yes, there is such a thing as the perfect wife, the perfect mother. Mm-hmm. And then let's not get into the chokehold that Proverbs 31 had me in.
Oh my God.
Girl,
ooh, she is this.
When I'm just tell you.
Am I any of those things? Any of those things.
It wasn't until I went to the Queen Esther program at SBCG, and they had a whole workbook on just Proverbs 31. Like literally, like the book is like this thick, and it just like it works you through Proverbs 31. And I needed that, because it dismantles a lot of what you expect, right? Because that Proverbs 31 lady, you were like, is you Jesus?
Is you Jesus or is you Jesus?
Is you Jesus?
Is you Jesus or is you Jesus?
You real perfect,
on paper, girl. On paper.
And it is like when people, and it's like in the church, it's a big thing. Like I want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. And so as you walk into it thinking like, oh, I want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. Baby girl. That is hard to do.
Chad.
It's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Because baby girl had it all.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so just kind of setting that realistic expectation.
Definitely.
Like let's bring Proverbs 31 into 2025.
Absolutely. The context matters.
DMV,
it matters. The context matters. Yeah. That's good. I think also going into the fact that like a lot of times you go into marriage thinking that like I'm going to change or my partner will change.
Right. Like things will get better. Like I don't really like this about him or her, but
once we say I do,
it's going to change.
It's going to magically just
like a husband wouldn't do that. No.
A boyfriend maybe. A fiance maybe.
A boyfriend, he can do that because we're not married yet.
But once we get married,
when we get married, it's going to change.
Is that right?
Let me tell you something.
Is that right?
Habits are habits for a reason.
Come on.
They don't just disappear.
They do not just disappear.
It requires work.
It definitely requires work. And not even that though, but like it also...
And desire to change.
That's what I was about to say. Like if you have no interest in changing a certain behavior, you're going to be hitting your head against a brick wall every single time.
And especially, Lara, what's really crazy is when you expect your partner to change, or you want to see a difference in your partner, but you're not even talking about that.
You don't even say a word. You think your husband or your wife is a mind reader.
So that's the next one.
You think your husband or wife is a mind reader.
You just expect them to know.
That was me for a long time. I ain't gonna lie. That was me. Oh yeah.
Lara be like, oh, he should know.
But he should know. And that was me for a long time.
But I think it's common. I think I did too. Like I think most people, it's common.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to have to explain yourself all the time.
Yeah.
And that is why we hammer communication, because it's like when you get married, you want to believe that, oh, of course, we have to communicate. It is one of the hardest things to do.
It is.
And that's why we talk about it so much. And we never want to act like it's so easy to do.
Correct.
Like, no, we know it's hard as crap, but it is crucial.
Yeah. And not even that though, but like there's levels of communication, right?
Yeah.
Like you can be a surface level communicator where it's like, again, the emotion behind why you're really mad is not there. So the person who is receiving the information is just like, okay, no big deal. But they don't understand how upset you are about the thing because you're like suppressing the emotions. You're taking the emotions out of it.
Yeah.
Or there's certain things I don't like, but for the sake, I don't want to nag. I'm not going to say it. So the thing is like, if you're being a surface level communicator and you're not willing to be vulnerable, you're not willing to like have deeper conversations beyond how it's worked and this and that, it's going to be really hard for you in your marriage. It's going to be really hard. You will struggle.
Inevitably struggle.
Absolutely.
And another one that people expect is that, oh, we're not going to fight.
We're not going to argue. We're not going to argue.
Or that a good marriage they don't fight. There's like, why are we arguing? Like so often
There's nothing to argue about.
Yeah, or like we talked about communicating, right? Some people will forego bringing up important topics because they're like, I didn't want to start a fight.
Yeah.
Or I'm just tired of arguing.
Yeah.
I don't want to argue.
No.
So it's like you have this expectation that you're not going to fight in your marriage.
Correct.
Guess what?
Lies and fairytales.
Newsflash, you're going to fight.
You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight. And there's nothing wrong with it. But obviously we talk about fighting fair a lot, and we talk about healthy ways to have difficult conversations.
Yep.
And I think that is the part that people get wrong.
Yep.
They're not doing it in a healthy way. They're not putting the emotions behind why they feel the way that they feel, and it becomes a sparring match and it becomes an attack as opposed to, and that's why people don't want to fight.
I'm about to say, and that's why you shy away from it.
Yeah.
Because it's not healthy.
Exactly. And then also, it's this idea that like, we love each other, so it should be easy.
Mm-hmm. Like love is enough.
Is it?
And you're going, and that comes from the pressure, right? Like, and we're going to talk about that later. Like, where do the expectations come from?
Correct.
But you see these couples online, and it's just like, oh my God, they're like so in love.
They're so in love. Mind you, they was pausing. They was saying cut. Why don't you do it like this? Why don't you say it like that? And you don't even see that part.
You just ain't see it.
You ain't just ain't see it. Yeah. People show you what they want you to see.
People show you what you want you to see.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back to that. But how can unmet expectations affect a marriage?
Ooh, child.
What are the impacts of these unmet expectations?
Girl.
I think the biggest
one.
And I think it's probably going to encapsulate everything else is resentment.
It's resentment. And the way resentment can creep up in there.
Sneaky
little snake.
Very little
sneaky little snake.
Sneaky little thing.
Sneaky little thing.
Because you won't even know why you side-eyeing him like that. And yeah, like...
Why he irritate me?
Like, just the sight of him makes you want to bark.
Why he eat like that?
Like...
Baby girl, he been eating like that for years. What's the problem?
Like, I didn't even know he chewed with his mouth open like that. Ew. That's so... gives me the ick.
Gives me the ick. Ugh. I got the ick. Oh, child.
But why is that?
Why is that, baby girl?
Because you have now set these expectations
that he's never going to be able to fulfill.
Never going to meet.
Or she.
That he don't even know you have.
Bruh. That's the worst part about
it. That's the crazy part.
Just eating my food. And you mad because my mouth was open and I didn't know.
And you mad at me for being who I am.
Yeah, but Lord. Yeah. That's another one. But I think also like unsolvable fights.
Like those fight cycles that never end. Yeah.
It's just like and a lot of times it's because you're not getting to the root of the actual argument or disagreement and you're spinning your wheels a lot of times. You're spinning your wheels, and there are some things that have to be put to bed, and they will just be what they are. But a lot of times you will see the same fight manifested just in a different situation.
Yeah.
In a different situation, and I think that like a lot of times that is it boils right back into that resentment, right? Like, because this is issue that keeps coming up, but in a different way or in a different time or a different space, you start to build resentment because it's just like, but I thought we talked about this already. Or I thought, and you're just like, he or she is just like, but no, this is a completely different area or different. This is like, this has to do with finances now, but it's the same issue you're having just in different areas of your life.
And when you find yourself in those cycles, it leads to lack of fulfillment, and it leads to you mentally checking out of your marriage. Yes. And that is it's literally the cycle to nowhere because eventually you're just like, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't feel fulfilled. Like the things that I need, I'm not receiving. Yeah. And my mind is no longer here.
Yeah.
And that is the step to
and I think that also that distance that's created because you check out, unfortunately, is a breeding ground for like infidelity. It's like a breeding ground for it because I'm not fulfilled, or what I thought my husband or my wife was meant to fulfill is not being met. I'm no longer here. And then I have something that's giving me just a bit of what I thought.
And that's what I was going to say. Because it's always just a taste.
Just a taste of it.
It's like, if you need
she
10
is such
things,
a great communicator.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need 10 things and you just get one. You just get a taste on your tongue like,
wow.
And you be like, oh.
Well, that tastes good.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. And it's like a breeding ground for that.
Yeah.
And so I've already I resent my partner.
Yeah.
I've accepted that they're not going to change. I've accepted I'm not fulfilled. But then there's something or someone giving me just enough or just a bit of fulfillment.
Yeah.
That and it doesn't even have to be actual infidelity. It could be, again, that's what people go to pornography.
Mm-hmm.
People go to like that. People go to unhealthy habits, gambling, being outside the home.
Correct.
All of these different things. So it's not, we don't even have to jump to necessarily infidelity, but it's like these gateway things that help you feel fulfilled in a certain way or in a certain area or space in your life that keep you checked out of your marriage, keep you mentally checked out, keep you distant, and keep you in resentment.
Yep. And all of this stems from
unmet expectations. Unmet expectations.
And which typically starts from unrealistic expectations.
Correct.
So we're trying to help y'all here. Because that got dark really. Y'all saw how fast that got dark?
Yeah.
Like that got really dark really quick.
Fast. And that's not.
And that is what
that's the reality, unfortunately. That is reality.
That is what happens.
Yeah.
You don't, before you even realize what is going on, everything has slipped away from you.
Exactly. And so how do we
bring it back?
How do we bring it back, Memi? How do we check, or what should we do when there are unmet expectations?
So the first thing, I'm always going to start within. I'm always going to recommend that you start within. If there's something going on, you're seeing these issues in your marriage, don't ever start on the outside. Don't ever start pointing fingers. Always point the fingers towards yourself first. So the first thing I'm going to say is check yourself, because you hurt yourself in the beginning.
Yeah.
Get real with yourself. Mm-hmm. Look at these expectations that you had. Ask yourself, like, why did I want that?
Yeah. What was so important about that?
What was so important about that? Did I communicate that with this person? Yeah. Did that person know what I needed? Did I communicate that? Yeah. Is that person capable of giving me what I need?
We're not gonna go down a rabbit hole, but like, if I don't have the capacity or the capabilities, it's like you ask me, are you a doctor? Mm-hmm. Can you go do brain surgery on this person? Mm-hmm. I don't have the tools for it. I'll never be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like to the degree, like, I don't have the tools. I was never taught. I don't know that you need it, but then you want it.
You want it. You need it, according to you. You need it.
But you didn't set me up for success in any type of way.
Yeah.
And it is like fitting a peg into a needle into, what does it say?
A round peg into a square hole.
Into a square hole.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to fit.
Nothing you can do to it.
It's never going to fit. What is the source?
Yeah.
Of this expectation? Yeah. Like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big one, because unfortunately, right, ideas of marriage start a couple places. Right. They start from what you see a lot of times.
In the home.
Yeah. Lack of, or within the home, right?
Yes.
So it starts from there. But then, being visual creatures, the media, that is from the television shows that we watch.
The Cosby Show.
The Cosbys were Fresh Prince were a very healthy representation of Black marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
It was the husband was a doctor, wife was a lawyer, the kids
all doing good,
all doing well. Yeah. They always have these challenges every now and then, but it seemed like there was a partnership. It seemed like there was communication.
It always had a nice rap bow at the end of the show.
At the end. Is that realistic? Because if you think it's going to be a rap bow every night,
it's not. It's not.
If you think there's going to be a lesson every single night,
no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
You know what I mean? And but that expectation could turn good and bad, because you're like, okay, this is a healthy way to communicate,
right?
Or the flip side, like, if we're not communicating, we're doing something wrong, because we didn't really see Claire and Cliff argue.
Yeah.
I mean, yell at each other.
Right.
So now that we're yelling, we automatically have a bad relationship,
bad.
And that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The media, social media.
Right.
We see again what people show us. Literally, what people show us. They take their camera, kiss
right there,
kiss, move the camera, put it at a different angle,
go there and
do a little butt rub right here. Take the camera, put it over here.
Go ahead and be cooking, and they
coming behind. He come behind you, rubbing. Do it again. You have to squeeze it harder.
All
of that's happening.
Literally what we see.
All of that is happening.
And in your mind, you're like, dang. Like, my man don't ever walk up behind me in the kitchen when I'm cooking. Like, oh, that must mean he don't like me, or he don't find me attractive, or he don't think I'm sexy. Sister,
baby,
stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Please stand up, baby girl. Culture. Let's even talk about culture real quick. Growing up in African households, right? Like, I'm not even talking about from the perspective of like gender roles. I'm talking about just even affection and love. Yeah. It's different.
different.
It's different. Not bad, but different.
Because you ain't kissing up on my mama. She gonna be like, screw.
And the thing is, when I saw my parents do it, I was just like, yuck. Please stop. Please stop. Don't do that. Please don't do it in front of me. But it was still far and few between, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's different from like what we try to now. Like it's much more common for like our generation. And I'm not generalizing saying African parents were never affectionate. No.
Yeah.
But what we saw growing up was very different.
Yeah. Affection was not a common
PDA was not common.
PDA is crazy.
PDA? Kissing where?
Yeah.
In public?
Yeah.
Why?
But, and so what you're saying is very interesting because what I've seen is like people that grow up in certain type of families, you either want exactly what you saw or you want the opposite of what you
complete
saw.
Opposite.
Right? And so that also can create negative expectations or unhealthy expectations because you're like, my parents never kissed. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like how Cliff and Claire be kissing.
Kissing, right.
So I now want my husband to be super affectionate.
Exactly.
Whether or not he's an affectionate type, whether or not he grew up in an affectionate home.
Correct.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's my expectation.
But not communicating that.
My husband is going to give me that. And you're not communicating that, right?
Good.
You're not communicating the why.
Why.
Like we always talk about the why.
Always.
The why really, really gets you where you need to go in these type of conversations.
Yeah. And that communication is paramount. And I think the only way in communicating, I think you can now reset and make goals that are realistic. Like you're able to go back and say, okay, this is what I want for my marriage, but I now need to partner with my spouse to now get there together.
Yes. This is the most important one.
Yeah. Like I want us to both get there. I want us to like, this is how I want us. And I want to give grace
along the way.
That it might not be smooth sailing to get there. It's always going to be straight shot. Yeah. I might revert because I'm naturally not
that person,
a PDA driven person.
Correct.
But that's what you want. So I'm going to try.
Yeah. Like you be holding my hand now.
Crazy, natural, natural for me.
Growth.
You see growth. I'm telling you, that's actually a good point. You see that? It happened over X amount of episodes or X amount of days. You could do that. And so I think that when you draw a plan or have a goal together, it becomes more realistic.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so I love that idea of turning your unrealistic or unmet expectations into goals. Goals give you steps, right? Like, so in order for me to feel more affection from you or feel like we are doing more PDA, maybe just hold my hand when we go out. Like if we go out, you can hold my hand for 10 minutes.
Yes.
That's a step in the right direction.
That's good.
Versus you just saying, he's not affectionate.
Yeah. They're always holding each other's hands.
Hey, look at them. Like, aren't they cute?
And I think that goes right back to that comparison, like social media and just in general. Like, stop comparing.
Yeah.
Your marriage is your marriage.
It's your marriage.
Your husband is your husband. Your wife is your wife. Every guy is not going to bring you roses. There are, like we talked about it, there are some guys who naturally are inclined to do that.
They love it.
But everybody's not like that. No. And that does not mean your husband or your wife loves you less.
Right.
Just because. So tailor and tamper your expectations and stop comparing.
Stop comparing. And I feel like, and it happens to all of us because it's so sneaky.
No, it is sneaky.
Comparison is sneaky.
Yeah, you see that?
Like, darn,
it's like 7 posts. They just getting gift after gift after gift. I'm just begging for a gift over here.
Yeah, they got like 7 boxes on the bed. Dang, I ain't getting
I don't get no boxes. Got some flowers.
We can help it because we're human, but at the same time, you can help how you can help how it manifests in your marriage.
Absolutely.
You can definitely help that.
And then I think like also really important is that like you want the 7 boxes on the bed, but is it a need?
Yeah.
Is it like a need, a want, or a preference?
You gotta differentiate.
I mean, is it like mandatory and you're not getting fulfilled and that's why it's like you're feeling depleted or unfulfilled because it's a need that's not being met? Or is it just a preference?
It is a preference. It's like it would be nice.
It would be nice. Or is it a want? Like, I think that those 3 are different. A preference, a want, and a need. We want you to tackle your needs first.
Get to the needs.
Get to needs. Get to the needs. That is the most important. Get to the needs because the needs are going to be the things that like fill you up.
Yeah.
The other stuff is fluffy and feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It does.
So like, we laughed through this episode a little bit and obviously because we're going to laugh every time, but we want us to be honest with ourselves about areas in our marriages and our relationships that we feel like are unmet, but then we want you to have healthy dialogues about it.
Yeah, please.
Ultimately.
Please.
Like that is the end goal here, right? So like think about what's unmet in your marriage and your relationship, and then what are the active things you're going to do about it to make it a desired, to get the desired effect that you want.
Yeah.
You know?
That was good.
So peak seekers, come on now. Tell us what are some other expectations that are not met and what you can do, like what we can do. So we can bring it back here.
Yeah.
We can put it in our community on Facebook and Instagram and like keep the conversation going.
Join us.
So we want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Chats from the Peak.